to Talk About It Tuesday, where we talk about it, a range of topics on Tuesdays. Today I have my sister,
Rodisha. Hi, nice to meet you guys.
and my mother,
Candy.
and I am Tay Walker, and we're going to talk about the strength of a woman. So when I say the strength of the woman, I mean a strength in two ways. You have three types. You have women that stay, women that leave, and women that decide to never do it. And when I say it, I mean marriage, relationships, or just dealing with men in general, because they are truly a headache from my perspective. But my number one question is, why did you stay or why did you leave? How did you find the strength to stay or how did you find the strength to leave? And I'm going to start with my mom.
Okay, my name is Candy. I've been married 21 years, in the relationship 25, 26 years. The reason I've stayed is because we've built a foundation. Things are good sometimes, things are bad sometimes, but my faith in God, my faith in the fact that what we have is worth fighting for is the reason I stay.
My name is Rodisha. I've been married for 5 years, but we've been dating, I think, 9 years. Because I love my husband, I love my family, and I feel like everybody makes mistakes, and I don't think nobody is perfect. But I think it's the difference between when you make a mistake, like when you can really like say, I make a mistake. Like, stuff happens, nobody's perfect. And if you got a man, to me, I had a man who was willing to try to get it right. He was fighting for my relationship even when I wasn't fighting for it. And he really had my back and really held me down. So it was just like, it wasn't worth letting it go. Like, I've never felt like disrespected or like a queen.
I have been married for a year, but we are getting a divorce. We were together for 9, 10, 11 years. 11 years off and on, mostly on though, but my strength in leaving and the reason why I personally decided to leave is because I felt as though he was loving me to the best of his ability, but not the way that I desire to be loved. And I think that my husband is a wonderful provider. He's a good father when he has time to be, but he is not the best husband. I think that I could have a man that's all of that, or I'm so willing to be by myself and give myself all of that. So my strength in leaving, and I felt like I wasn't being treated how I wanted to be treated. Not to say nothing bad about him or his character, but I know how I desire to be treated, and I think I found the strength to leave, and the strength that it takes for a woman to leave a person who they are in love with was because I trust God, and I know that if I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, this is not what God made me for. This may be what He graced me for my past seasons, but in the seasons that He's taken me into, I'm not graced for that. It would hinder me. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. At one point, I feel like I was trying to make it work or staying for the sake of my kids. Have you ever felt like that?
There have been very trying times where something didn't go right, and it would be on the brink of, do I stay or do I go? And I have to weigh in the factor of the kids. I have to weigh in the factor that, when we first got married, I had 5 kids that wasn't his. But I will say that the way he loved each and every one of them, every time they called, I mean, sometimes he'd leave me and I wouldn't know that they needed something because he would be there. Just the love that he has for them, the loyalty to them, it made me want to stay. Sometimes I looked at things and I had to dig real deep, and I'm not saying I even use it as a crutch. I would I would call out to God, and I would just be like, God, show me so that I can see something in me that gives me the strength to leave or go. And God was showing me things about myself. He would say, but you know, you're supposed to be a help me. And if you would follow my word and do it the way I'm telling you, because sometimes I was overwhelmed, and you know, just the way that he even cooks meals for the kids, or the way that even my adult kids that wasn't his in the mornings, you know, they could eat free lunch, but not him. He was gonna make them lunch. You know, those were things like, oh, when we go to the store, he's gonna buy all the stuff that just came out, the snacks. No, he's gonna make sure, and they'll be like, oh, we got money because he gave us money. I would know nothing about. I mean, it's just a lot. You have to go back in your mental Rolodex, and you have to weigh the good and the bad. So, you know, I think when I look at it, I didn't use my kids as a crutch, but I remembered so much of the good. I seen the bad, but I remembered so much of the good, and I was asking God, show me what is my fault in this, and I know I had some fault in it, and it would make me.
For me, my thing with my kids, every time I see my kids with their dad, he's better with them than I am. He's more patient with them. He don't yell at them. He don't beat them. When they talking, he not really listening, but they think he listening. And like it's a softness about him when it comes to the kids that would make me be like, do I really want to give this up? But then I have to my strength to lead again comes from the times that he just really genuinely don't have time, because he is a hard working man, and some days he's working 20 hours with only 3 hours of sleep, and he might need 2 days to recover from that 20-hour day that he can't give us none of him, and we only get his exhausted or his bad side. And I enjoy it more when my kids get the rest of him, or the him that has had that break, because now he can come back and love on them. And I don't know that he could do that and be in the house with us, because, you know, as a mom or as a parent, what you're doing it every day nonstop. So you don't get rested time. What y'all moms, have y'all had a nap since y'all became a mom?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I do. Like
She
get
really
naps.
the dad.
I get naps. My husband is absolutely wonderful with his kids. Like, I get naps. I can go on trips. I can get naps. Say less. Like, I can get naps. I'm finna cook, so get the kids. I think my husband like bathes them every night. Like, they have their routine. Like, he's amazing with his boys. Like, with his kids in general. So,
and also taking into consideration, her husband is of the mindset of his family come first. It's not no amount of money or no amount of working that he would be willing to be like, I'm gonna put my family on the back burner to go get it. Versus my husband, no amount of trips or time that's gonna make him not go get some money. He don't care. His value is money over everything. And when he say everything, he mean everything. To him, you know how you see like the dad on the memes that be like, turn on the lights, there go your Christmas gift. Crank up the car, there go your Christmas gift. But that's him more so, and to him that he could pay for us to do everything we want to do than us being there together. If he had to not go and he could just give us the money to go, he would be 110% fine with that. He actually probably would prefer that better. They actually happen to, like, the whole trip, he on the phone, or he trying to figure out how he can make money on the trips or turn a trip into something.
May I ask something? Just me and my mind want to know. Is that something you got from his mom? Because you said she's a very hardworking person and she would rather give them money than spend time or something. I can see you money, but yeah. So maybe that's something.
I love that you asked that, because the next question is, do you think your strength comes from the way you were raised?
Well, I think I'm more well-rounded and grounded than my husband, But I also think that the yin and the yang of it, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, well, y'all know because we family, we went through a lot. Suffered a lot of losses as far as family members and stuff. We have gone through a lot of storms, you know what I'm saying? But the strength of we went through it together, you know what I'm saying? And even though we were raised totally different, I think that for the most part, when we first got into it, he tried to be something that he wasn't, not in a way of being facetious, but in a way of, I always wanted a family. I always wanted to be able to do this. And I think that when things didn't go his way or how he thought, oh, they'll be receptive, they'll love you, and we looking like, don't do that. He took it so personal because he went in with all the great intentions, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because he had never had that, you know? And I think that it
and
does.
Your best feel like it ain't enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, for me, you know, the difference in the way we was raised, it played out. But I mean, as he and I enter into a new stage in our relationship where we have grandkids and stuff, it's almost like, well, pop, and it's like, well, what I am, I'm here, like, you know what I'm saying? And he loves the grandkids.
Yes.
I mean, it's a balancing act, but it's also when you have to put your ego down, because sometimes you have to say to yourself, what's really me and what's ego? I'm not talking about what I see somebody else get or what I see on Instagram. It's something that's real intangible. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm very good with money. So I'm the money person. You know what I'm saying? He may be very good at manual stuff. Well, you do this. You let me handle this, and be able to shift those roles as needed, and not let your ego be like, well, I ain't the one supposed to be doing this because you supposed to be doing this. What works for you works for you. You know what I'm saying? And able to do that and feel like I don't need to explain what works in our household to nobody else, so that I don't have to feel any kind of way about it because we're happy in our house.
But it be so hard when you be feeling like your family judging you, or like you don't feel like I could say to my mom or my sister, I stay with my husband because I love him. That's that.
Plain and simple. So I think kind of like what I just asked, from my perspective, I think my parents' values are very traditional. They don't believe in abortions and they don't believe in divorce. This is not your reason to divorce him, even if you have to take space. But me personally, based off how I was raised, I wouldn't get a divorce, right? But as I experienced the world, realistically for me, I feel like I would be living in the part of Corinthians where it says long suffering for a long time. I don't want to be in the long suffering part. I feel like 11 years was a lot of suffering. How do you stay during a long suffering?
How do I stay?
Yeah.
God, I was going through, me and my husband was going through it, like really bad. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this. I know for a fact I can't do this. The only way I'm gonna do this, or the only way I will be able to do this is God. Like, I didn't listen to my mama. I didn't listen to my stepdaddy. I didn't listen to my husband. I didn't hear nothing nobody said because I had already knew that I felt like it ain't gonna be nothing but God. Like, my mama couldn't tell me, my dad couldn't tell me. And I couldn't even go to my sisters because this was something I wanted to go through by myself. I didn't want nobody's voices altering my emotions. I didn't want to hear nobody say, no, you shouldn't do this because of that. And I'd be like, oh yeah, you're right because this and that. Because nobody go through this but me. Like, day in and day out. And it is hard. It's hard. It is hard. Like, I think marriage is hard in itself. But God, if it wasn't for God, like, and I know it's like cliche, but for me it really was God. Like, really going back to church, getting baptized, reading my Bible, getting into my Bible, like, and understanding and trying to communicate better too. I'm definitely working on communicating, but it was God.
You know, the craziest part is all the strength that I have to use to be able to even go through a divorce. When my sister was ready to tell me about her situation, not once did I suggest divorce or separating or breaking up or anything, because believe it or not, I went into my marriage, and even right now, talking to my friends or talking to anybody, I stand by not getting a divorce. It shouldn't. Don't get married if that's even an option. Like in my mind. So going through the long suffering part, I told you to look at your husband and think about all the ways your husband is good. We can't let the one bad thing cancel out all of the good things.
Right, correct.
And on the same token, you got to think about all the ways your husband may be bad.
Right.
You can't let the one good thing cancel out all the bad things. So it's really, to me, about the strength comes from knowing your spouse. The strength comes from knowing the person that you're dealing with, or the devil that you're dealing with. Know them and know them to their core. Because if somebody was to offer you $1 million and the only downside to the $1 million was that you got to get up every day at 12 and pray, you gonna get up every day at 12 and pray. But if somebody offered you that same $1 million and the only downside was that you had to worship the devil, chances are you're not gonna take that. It's not gonna be worth it to you. So if you got somebody who worth it, and you know he might got some ways, but he's mostly worth it, to me, you don't walk away from that.
I think I shared with y'all before that me and my husband, we were going through a financial troubles, and I got an offer. Leave him. You don't have to worry about it. I will take care of you. And I was in a place where I was already on edge because of the financial hardships, but when I heard the offer, I immediately went to God. I had to go back to the word, because the flesh was like, you ain't gotta put up with nobody mess, all your bills paid, you ain't gotta sleep with nobody. This is just somebody taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? And the person who said it from a place of ignorance but love. They didn't say it to be malicious or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It just was like a male figure that says, you family, you good. You don't have to stay in a relationship that I don't see you thrive, and I want to see you thrive. Mm-hmm. I respected that he loved me just that much, that he would come to me like that. But I was kind of dismayed because you can't mock the word of God. You know what I'm saying? Well, God's put together, let no man put asunder. You know what I'm saying? So, although you're doing it in love, it could have even been a thing where, you know what, cuz I know you ain't doing what you need to do right now, or you ain't got to do what you need to do right now. I'm going to help you because I don't want to see her in a situation like that. You could have even spoke to him man to man, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not knocking that person for saying it, because like I said again, I seen it all in love, but I originally just truly had to go to God right then at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because like you say, you don't want to go to people, but y'all have seen me live out loud. Mm-hmm. Nobody can tell y'all because y'all lived it with me. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of ego in me that felt like I didn't want y'all to feel like I was weak. You know what I'm saying? It took strength to stay. And something else that nobody can really take is that what if I hear the word of God so strong that it's like, listen, you're gonna either hear my word, or you're gonna hear what other people think, or what you think they think, or your emotion, what you really want to hear. I want to hear from God. You know what I'm saying? And I think even when I went through the brain surgery and all like that, I thank God it wasn't me, but maybe it was my obedience, even in bad times, just holding on and listening to the word, because he may reward you with life. You never know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and let's say this, because I'm not going to say it no other way. I love my husband. I may not be at moments in love, then there are moments I'm in love. Serious my son. He was talking to me one day, and we were just talking, and we were just having a conversation, and casually he was like, well, how y'all met? And, I was telling him all the ways, that reminded me so much as we were having a conversation. And at that moment, I felt like, dang, I'm in love. I felt all starry-eyed again.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Yeah, reminiscing on. I was like, he was a really good dude to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this man was like, would do anything for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy, stupid love for me. It also showed me and my ego back then, too. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what he did, it was like, do something else. Do something bigger. Do something grander. I mean, I'm being honest about me. But I was coming from a place of having been through so much. Mm-hmm. And you got to prove yourself. But you got to prove yourself. You got to keep proving yourself. You got to... And I realized that I had did a lot of damage in the beginning of the relationship. It didn't come to me like that.
Yeah. But
I had that mindset. So I handled him like that. So, but when I was talking to him and my son, I realized all the things. I was like, damn, love. Like,
Right. But saying what you're saying made me feel like how we're talking about a strength of a woman to either stay or leave, that it also got to be strength in men to do the same thing. Because if we think about our jacked up parts, it's almost like, I can say for a fact, I don't know how your husband do it, because
baby, I know I ain't easy to deal with.
Ooh. Sometimes I be like,
you ain't too far.
Ooh.
If not, might be ahead.
Hold on. The difference though is your husband was God graced your husband for you. God didn't grace my husband for me, because my husband, if I'm gonna hit you with one, he gonna hit you with two. Your husband, on the other hand, he handled you so gently that it's like the patience that you have. Another person will be like, you letting her punk you.
You always say
like, bro, don't let her talk to you like that.
I'm sorry, Ro.
You always say
I thank God for my sister husband, because I know God graced him.
It just don't give me no attention.
For her.
Let me say this, Ro. I'm gonna confess this to you right now. Doug come to me a lot of times. We talk one-on-one and you have no idea about it. But I remember, no, we're going to stick with what I'm saying. And so I remember not too long ago, maybe a month ago, maybe not even a month ago, but maybe y'all were having a problem or whatever, but he was talking to me and he was telling me this thing. I said, Doug, put your foot down with her. Because she just run all over you.
Hey, boy, y'all talking to me?
I know for a fact he loved you and he cared about you.
Yes, he did.
When me and you was going through what me and you was going through, and I felt how I felt, he came and he talked to me and he tried to explain it from a perspective of, hey, your sister really didn't know, or like this hurting my wife, and because it's hurting my wife, it's hurting me, and how can y'all fix it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
How many men gonna do that?
Because some men will be like, fuck. Some people is they burn those bridges and put wedges between y'all so that the woman can only depend on them. You know what I'm saying?
You see firsthand, I've had to deal with that.
Yeah. And he said, I don't want to, be rude enough, but he was saying, I just want her to love me and look at me the way she loved y'all and look at y'all. And that was like,
I don't know why he say that, because I do.
But maybe you don't show
I probably don't. I am me, but I don't know if I'm me because I don't know. But it's like, I do love him as much as I love y'all. Like, I do know what y'all saying, but I'm working on it. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm working on it.
I see you. I notice you, and even in the moments, I'm noticing you. But something about my personality is like, suck. You know what I'm saying? Not like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like I see you really trying. Really, I do. For real. I don't know if it's because I'm wounded at that moment.
Resentment almost. Like, do you feel like you sometimes you want him to feel how you feel like how you said, wounded in that moment?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes that be God working on his heart in those moments. You know what I'm saying? Because it's unspoken. I ain't said nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? But you come back and you correct it. But I be thinking, even then, be like, in my mind, you could have just said that. You know what I'm saying?
When I got married, the only person who was there was my mom, right? And then he told me like, why you? I would have wanted to go. Like, you're my daughter too. And I wonder if it wasn't that I didn't. I just didn't think about it.
Right.
But he might feel like because you're his wife and you're his person and you know his fears and the things that bother him,
Maybe I need
why
to
you didn't speak up? Why didn't you get what I'm saying?
Right. Now I get what you're saying because yeah, you was like, no, I'm gonna bring my husband. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think of it, but you're right. But those are things I'm saying that we talk every day. We're ladies. We speak. We even if it's in text or whatever, we communicate. And a lot of times he like maybe how Doug feels. Like y'all have these conversations and you know, I'm not talking about stuff that they don't need to know, but I'm just like, I'm never a part of this. So when y'all have these plans and all this here, all I know in the end is you need me to do this. You need me to do this. Like you ain't never even included me in it.
Which I can say, just defending him and from his perspective, in all honesty, whether I'm with you or I'm with him, I would be offended if I was him too, because y'all talk all day. I feel like all these years, even you and Doug, y'all be talking to y'all person all day to the point where how they missing something? Cause y'all like why, at the whole day throughout the time y'all talk, you didn't think about saying that.
In my mind, if you sit next to me, even though you can't hear, I thought you overheard me, so you put it together. And that's just in my mind. And I know that, you know, it has to be a better communication between us, but in my mind, that's what at that time.
But even if I overheard, why didn't you still tell me?
But you didn't just hear what I said. In my mind, I thought you heard it. And you know, in my mind, that's what child did. And it's not personal, you know. And a lot of times I tell him that, but you know, it's what?
It's about me.
Oh, okay.
No. The thought that I had was about me.
Right.
And I feel like what's broken in me that I don't have that desire to talk to anybody all day. Like when me and Carl was first getting back together and first got married, he was like, call me on my lunch break. And I'm like, call me on your lunch break. And like he would say it every day for like a couple of weeks. And I never called on my lunch break because on my lunch break I don't want to talk. I want to journal and I want to eat my food. And I feel like what's broken in me that I've never had that desire with any person walking on God's earth to talk to them every day. Or if I'm coming home to you, why? And you used to tell me all the time, y'all so weird. Y'all never talk. But I don't, I'm just not that person.
I remember when me
I don't know why.
and Smiley first got together. But this is when I was working from 9 at night to 5 in the morning at the hospital. He would come on our lunch break and we would sit outside the ER area and just talk. You know what I'm saying? And then he'd leave. If I needed him to bring me food, he'll bring me food or whatever. But it was things.
I remember that he said, I gotta take your mama lunch.
You know, just things I can recall. Things I took for granted. Y'all remember when we stayed in Mobley and he set up the candles and the rose petals and everything? And when I came in, it was pretty well. I was like, you're gonna burn my damn house down, but y'all was there. But I never was like, no, I tired it. You know, I tired it. You know, but I never thought of it.
Not oh, it's so romantic. This is probably what's wrong with me. This is probably where I get it from. But I realized that I'm lying. In the beginning, me and Carl did used to talk all the time. But if you do one thing to piss me off, and this is the long, I don't know if God built me to sustain withstand a marriage, because if you do one thing to piss me off, I'm pissed for life.
But I will say, like, even when I was pregnant with Amani, I remember, y'all may not remember, but the Tampa Bay Mall, it was by the stadium. He went to the Tampa Bay Mall. I used to have, it was like they had the brown bourbon chicken and all that, and shrimp and all that. I used to like a basil chicken, and he went and got me my favorite meal. He went by Victoria's Secret and got me some scents, and then Jody was out with it.
I remember
He went and got me the CD, and he did all of this on a bus.
And Joe CD too.
And brought it to me. And I was thankful, but I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, but I didn't take it in like, this is so thoughtful. And may I add that he was on a bus.
And that's that's the most important thing. Your person considers you. Your person y'all had a conversation, and he heard what you said because he was actively listening to you. So he already knew how to gift you or how to consider you. Like,
And
why did you mean?
But I'm saying,
why did you mean?
Because
Why would you mean?
because I was used to grand gestures that I couldn't receive. That somebody was giving me something from their heart, like giving me their all. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's so crazy because I can see parts of me in your story, and I'm laughing because it's quite sad. Like,
I say the same thing to you. Like, y'all got people that actually consider y'all. I would take that consideration over the $1 million any day. That person stopped to actually hear you and care about you and think like, oh, this their favorite color, this their favorite
YSL and Dior lipstick and stuff. You wanted before?
No, that's like, cause that's the stuff
You don't
that
think he ever
that's the
considered
stuff that money can buy.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that money can buy. I might have got YSL or Dior, but it wasn't the one that I said I liked.
Because he didn't hear that part.
Because he didn't hear that part.
But
Or, you get what I'm saying? Or he know that, okay, when she come to this, so this the lady who she always talk to. And not because you paying me attention, but because how you know her. Who, you get what I'm saying? How you go and you got like the beauty advisor that.
yeah.
Like, it's more so like, oh, how you know her? When you got a beauty advisor.
Wow.
Really?
Instead of, you know what, I know Dior make her favorite kind of lip gloss.
And I know she got a beauty advisor. I can go ask her.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I hear you.
But
I
since
hear
I'm
you.
talking to you and I'm shopping with you, then I can ask you questions to kind of put. Instead of I heard what you were saying and I noticed what you like. If that you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Just that little effort.
But that's what I said began to turn him off a lot about me is that he was so sincere. But I remember, and I don't know if y'all remember this. Y'all remember that time he told me to get him something to drink? And he was like, I was like, what you want, whatever. He was like, I was like, well, let me go get you a cup. He was like, you ain't gotta get, just give me a cup. I gave him a cup. Somebody had a bit out of that. It's pretty.
That's not funny.
that's funny.
And he would not let me forget that. He was like, and then in my mind,
Just say I'm the help.
he said that though. That's how
That's
he
how-
felt. And the first Thanksgiving we was together, we all caught the bus to May House. And I left him there with my mahogany. And I don't even know if I brought him back food. And then,
It's
as I
all
thought
over
about
out here.
that, I thought about that and I said, wow, what does that say about you? Like, are you really so self-centered that, you didn't think, like, how that made him feel? Like, damn, like, she took everybody, she left me with her. Like, like, I don't know. So when God showed me, because God will show you, I had to roll back a lot of things.
I just feel like you just better make sure you're ready. Like, when you see your true self,
But the truth is, I can say it and own it. You know what I'm saying? And realize that, I needed a lot of work. I was messed up. And when he was saying it to me, I couldn't hear that because you judging me. And in my own mind, I was perfect. And it's you.
Yeah.
So, it took years of, you know what I'm saying? It took years. And even now, sometimes I say to myself, like, you have, like, If May passed when she was 40, she told me at 40 years old, she said, you still spoiled. And I was like, I'm spoiled. And now, maybe sometime last week I had that thought in my head, like, I could see ways that I feel like, not an entitlement, but I'm so spoiled. Like, do you do it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, that's me though. Like,
you know what?
Well, I think all the men in our life say we spoiled.
No.
And that's the issue.
It's when I say spoiled, okay, it's so crazy to say, like, big fat, my baby, the little one. Y'all know in the middle of the night, like he be on his cup. That's your job, like, get that man a cup.
You ain't finna get up and do that.
That's between y'all two. Get up and if he do it 60 times, if that one time I do it, that's crazy. I always I'm one of them, y'all. That's crazy. Like, I gotta go work in the world. Like, what the one time you may say, like, I'm like,
not like you need to break yeah.
If you want to be tired, you should have never had these kids.
No, for real. You know, he cannot get tired. I don't get tired his favorite song. There you go. No, like,
right.
get that boy his juice. No. And change his pull up.
Anyway. And do it in the dark.
He be like, can you get the pull up? And I'll change, you might as well do it all.
It's like, even now, we have little small spats, and he be like, if you say you hungry, I'll get up and I'll go in there and I'll put together a whole meal for you. He say, if I say I'm hungry, he say you turn over and be like, go in there and get something. Like, he say, like, and you could be, whoa, you know what I'm saying? He say, you don't never like, and I was like, when he say that, I be like, you know what? I know I get on his nerves because you know I own it. It won't change. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, hey, why you like that?
Thank you for joining us for Talk About It Tuesday, where every other Tuesday I will have a different topic to talk about. Sometimes I'll have guests, sometimes I'll be by myself, but we always gonna talk every other Tuesday. Today we had
Candy
and my sister.
Rhodesha.
And I am TEWALKER, and we will see you next time on Talk About It Tuesday.
Talk about it Tuesday.
Talk about it Tuesday.